Dad's silent revenge.
My son's wife threw my life's belongings into the trash and sneered, "You're not needed anymore, Hal. Get out." I stood among my broken memories, smiled quietly, and made one phone call. 3 days later, they were frantically searching for me with 76 missed calls. They thought they'd erased me from their lives, but let me tell you something, they were dead wrong. My name is Harold Thompson, I'm 58 years old, and before I tell you what happened next, let me set the record straight about something. I'm not the kind of man who goes looking for trouble. 35 years as an electrical engineer taught me to think problems through, measure twice, cut once. You know how it is, when you work with electricity, one mistake can kill you. But here's the thing about family, when someone tries to throw you away like yesterday's garbage after you've given them everything, well, that's when an engineer's mind starts working in ways they never expected. The first thing I noticed wasn't the house when my pickup truck pulled into the driveway. It was the pile. 3 days of fishing up at Cedar Lake had left me relaxed and peaceful. You know that feeling when you've been away from all the noise and just had time to think. But that peace died the moment I saw this mountain of my belongings scattered next to the dumpster like some kind of yard sale gone wrong. Those are my things, I thought, hands still gripping the steering wheel like I was trying to wake up from a bad dream. Cardboard boxes torn open, contents spilling everywhere, like someone had just grabbed stuff and thrown it without caring what broke. My work boots crunched on gravel as I walked closer, each step feeling heavier than the last. And there it was, our wedding picture from 38 years ago. The glass cracked right across Beverly's face, dirt clinging to the silver frame I'd polished just last month. You ever have one of those moments where your brain just refuses to process what you're seeing? That was me, standing there holding that broken picture. Someone made a mistake, this had to be a mistake, but the evidence kept piling up, and I mean that literally. My anniversary watch, the Timex Beverly had saved 3 months to buy me, lay face down in a puddle. Crystal shattered, leather band soaked through. That watch had been on my wrist every day for 20 years. Now it looked like someone had stepped on it. My fishing gear was scattered like a tornado had hit it. Tackle boxes split open, lures and sinkers mixing with kitchen utensils and old photographs. The rod I'd used for 20 years was snapped in half. Guides torn away like broken teeth. Someone had thrown my entire life onto the street with all the care they'd give actual trash. Here's what really got me, the boxes told their own story. Hastily packed, roughly handled, torn at the corners where they'd been dragged or dropped. My name was still visible on one side, written in Beverly's careful handwriting from our last move 8 years ago. The ink had run in the damp air, making my own name look like a watercolor mistake. I found my work shirts in a heap, the ones I'd worn to the power company for 3 decades, oil stains and all they'd been mine. Steel-toed boots upside down with mud caked in the treads. The good pair I kept for church and special occasions, sitting there like they meant nothing. Beverly's jewelry box was scratched and dented, one corner completely smashed in. The velvet lining had come loose, and her few precious pieces were scattered in the dirt next to cigarette butts and bottle caps. Her mother's ring, the one she'd planned to pass down someday, was coated in grime. Let me tell you something about 40 years of careful preservation. You don't just throw that away by accident. This wasn't random. This wasn't some city mix-up. Someone had deliberately packed up everything I owned and thrown it away like garbage. Someone had made a choice to destroy 40 years of building a life, 40 years of memories. I straightened up, my back aching from bending over all this mess. The house loomed in front of me, windows dark and unwelcoming, like it was trying to pretend I'd never lived there. You know that feeling when a place that used to feel like home suddenly feels like you're trespassing? That's exactly what this was. Time to find out what was really going on here. I walked toward the front door, stepping over more scattered papers and broken picture frames. Each footstep felt deliberate now, purposeful. Someone was going to explain this mess, and they were going to explain it right now. After 8 years of living in this house, paying the bills, keeping the place running, someone owed me answers. The key slid into the lock like it had 1,000 times before. Turned halfway, then stopped dead. I tried again, applying more pressure, wiggling the metal back and forth the way you do when a lock's being stubborn. Nothing. The lock refused to budge, solid and unyielding, like I was trying to open a bank vault with the wrong key. They changed the locks. They actually changed the locks on my own house. My hands were shaking now, not from fear, but from something else. Anger, maybe. Or just the pure shock of realizing what this meant. I pulled the key out and examined it closely, like maybe the brass had somehow transformed during my fishing trip. Same worn edges, same scratches I'd memorized over the years. The problem wasn't the key, the lock was different. You know what I did next? I pulled out my phone and called Victor first, because that's what a father does. He'd explain this mess, sort everything out. Tell me there was some reasonable explanation for why my entire life was sitting next to the garbage. The phone rang once, twice, 3 times before clicking to voicemail. His voice, cheerful and recorded like nothing was wrong. You've reached Victor Thompson. Leave a message and I'll get back to you. Victor, it's Dad. I just got back from fishing and all my stuff is on the street. The locks are changed. What's going on? Call me back right away. I tried Diane next, though. Talking to my daughter-in-law always felt like walking through a minefield. You know how some people just have that way about them? Like every conversation is a test, you're probably going to fail. That's Diane. Same result anyway, straight to voicemail. Her message was shorter, crisper. You know what to do. Standing there on my own front porch, locked out like a stranger, I felt something cold settle in my stomach. This wasn't some mix-up or emergency repair. Someone had planned this. Someone had waited for me to leave town, then systematically erased me from the place I'd called home for 8 years. Here's the thing about being an engineer. You learn to see patterns, and the pattern here was crystal clear. They'd waited until I was gone. They'd changed the locks. They'd thrown out my belongings like trash. This was deliberate, calculated, and it had my son's fingerprints all over it. Time to get some answers from the neighbors. I walked across the yard to Leonard Foster's house next door. If anyone knew what had happened, it would be Lenny. The man noticed everything, which newspapers people read when they left for work, who visited when. 8 years of living next to him, and I'd never seen him miss a detail about what was going on in the neighborhood. I knocked on his door, 3 sharp raps that echoed in the quiet street. Footsteps approached, cautious and measured, like he was checking the peephole first. The door opened just wide enough for Lenny's weathered face to appear, his eyes darting past me toward my scattered belongings. Lenny, do you know what happened here? All my stuff is on the street, and I can't get into my house. His expression shifted, uncomfortable and evasive like a kid caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Sorry, Hal, haven't noticed anything unusual. Maybe some kind of mistake. Mistake? I gestured toward the pile of my life sitting next to the garbage. That's 40 years of my stuff sitting out there. Someone changed my locks while I was gone fishing. You had to have seen something. Lenny's gaze flickered away, focusing on something behind my shoulder. I've been busy with my garden, didn't really pay attention to what was happening over there. You want to know what a lie sounds like? That was it. Hanging between us like smoke. Lenny had been retired for 6 years and spent most days positioned at his front window watching the neighborhood like a security guard. He knew exactly what had happened, but for whatever reason he wasn't going to tell me. Look, if you need somewhere to make phone calls or wait for your family, you're welcome to, he offered, clearly wanting me gone. Thanks, but I'll manage. The door closed with a soft click, leaving me standing alone on his porch. Even Lenny, who'd borrowed my tools and shared beers on summer evenings, was cutting me loose. Whatever had happened here, the whole neighborhood was either in on it or too scared to get involved. Here's what I figured out standing there when family drama hits. People mind their own business. Nobody wants to take sides, nobody wants to get involved. They'll watch it happen from behind their curtains, but they won't stick their necks out. Can't say I blame them, really. I walked back to my belongings and found an old aluminum lawn chair among the debris. Set it up next to the largest box and settled in to wait. My phone showed no new messages. I tried Victor again, then Diane. Both calls went straight to voicemail without even ringing this time. Either their phones were off or they were deliberately avoiding me. Given the evidence surrounding me, I was betting on the latter. 4 hours passed like a slow bleed. I'd sorted through most of my belongings by the time their Honda pulled into the driveway. Some things were salvageable clothes that could be washed, books that had only gotten damp. Other items were ruined beyond repair. My anniversary watch was definitely gone, its face clouded with moisture and hands frozen. The headlights swept across the pile as Diane parked, illuminating everything like a crime scene. I stood up from the chair, my joints screaming after hours of sitting in the cool air. Relief flooded through me despite everything. Finally, someone who could explain this nightmare. Victor got out of the passenger side, his movements careful and deliberate. He looked older than his 35 years, shoulders slumped under the weight of something I couldn't identify. Diane emerged from the driver's side with her usual brisk efficiency, her blonde hair perfect despite the long day. Victor, Diane, thank God you're here. I walked toward them, trying to keep my voice steady. What happened? Why are my things on the street? I can't get into the house. Someone changed the locks while I was fishing. Diane didn't break stride, walking past me like I was invisible. She pulled grocery bags from the trunk with sharp, angry movements that told me everything I needed to know about her mood. When she finally looked at me, her expression was cold enough to freeze water. Because you're not needed here anymore, Hal. The words hit me like a physical blow. I actually took a step backward, blinking in confusion like someone had just slapped me. What do you mean not needed? This is my home. I live here. Lived, she corrected, slamming the trunk shut. Past tense. The mortgage is paid off. Now your job here is done. Take your junk and get out. Let me tell you something about moments that change everything. They don't come with warning bells or flashing lights. They just hit you like a truck when you're not looking. This was one of those moments, my job. The phrase made no sense. Diane, I don't understand what you're talking about. This is my house. I've been paying the mortgage for 8 years. Her smile was sharp as broken glass. You paid it off. Mission accomplished. We don't need you anymore. I turned to Victor, desperate for some sanity in this madness. Son, what is she talking about? Tell me what's going on here. Victor couldn't meet my eyes. He stared at the ground, hands shoved deep in his pockets like a guilty child who knew he'd done something wrong but couldn't bring himself to admit it. Sorry, Dad, he mumbled, barely audible. We tried to make it work, but what? I reached toward him and he actually flinched away from my touch like I was going to hit him. Victor, look at me. I'm your father. I've lived in this house for 8 years. I pay for groceries, utilities, repairs. This is my home. Diane laughed then, a sound like glass shattering. Your home? You were a tenant, Hal, a very useful tenant who paid all our bills and asked for nothing in return. But tenants can be evicted when they're no longer convenient. That hit me like a punch to the gut. I looked between them, my son avoiding my gaze, my daughter-in-law smiling with obvious satisfaction. The streetlight cast harsh shadows across their faces, making them look like strangers I'd never seen before. I helped you buy this house, I said slowly, each word carefully measured. When you couldn't qualify for the mortgage, I co-signed. When you couldn't make the payments, I covered them. When you needed a down payment for Victor's car, I gave you my savings. Everything I had, I gave to this family. And we're grateful, Diane said with mock sincerity that fooled nobody. Really, we are. But gratitude doesn't mean we have to house you forever. You're old, Hal. You take up space, you track mud through my clean house, you leave dishes in the sink and watch TV too loud. We want our lives back. Victor shifted uncomfortably but said nothing. My own son standing there while his wife cut me down piece by piece, real methodical-like. The boy I'd taught to ride a bike, helped with homework, supported through college, reduced to a silent accomplice in my exile. Where am I supposed to go? The question came out smaller than I intended, tinged with something that made me hate myself for asking it. That's not our problem anymore. Diane headed toward the front door, grocery bags in hand, like this was just another Tuesday evening. You're a grown man, figure it out. Victor, I tried one last time, putting every ounce of fatherly authority into his name. Look at me, son. He raised his eyes for just a moment, and what I saw there was worse than hatred. It was nothing, complete empty indifference, like I was already dead to him and he was just waiting for me to catch up to that fact. The locks are changed. Diane called over her shoulder as she reached the door. Don't try to get in. I'll call the police if I have to. The front door opened and closed, leaving me alone under the streetlight with my scattered life spread around me like evidence of a crime. The porch light came on, then immediately went off again, a clear message that I wasn't welcome even near the entrance. You know what I did then? I stood there for a long moment, processing what had just happened. 42 years of fatherhood erased, 8 years of generosity forgotten, a lifetime of love and sacrifice dismissed like an inconvenient bill. But beneath the hurt, something else was growing. Something harder and colder than the evening air. They thought they could use me up and throw me away like garbage. They thought they could steal everything I'd worked for and then lock me out of my own life. Here's the thing they didn't know about engineers. We're problem solvers. And they'd just become my biggest problem. 8 years. 8 years since that conversation in the kitchen when Victor had looked me in the eyes and promised we'd always be family. His voice came back to me, younger and full of hope back then. Dad, if you help us with the mortgage, we'll always be together. This is our family home now. I could see him so clearly in my memory, leaning against the counter with that earnest expression he'd inherited from his mother. Diane had been there too. Her hair shorter then, her smile warmer, or maybe it had just seemed warmer because I'd wanted to believe it so badly. You'll always have a home with us, Mr. Thompson, she'd said, using my formal name like she always did back then. We want you to feel like this is your place too. How naive I'd been. Beverly had been gone 2 years by then, and the house felt too empty, too quiet. When Victor called about their mortgage troubles, I jumped at the chance to help, not just with money, but with belonging somewhere again. Family takes care of family, I told them, signing those papers that made me responsible for their debt. Of course I'll help. Victor had actually hugged me that day. First time since his teenage years. I promise, Dad, you'll never regret this. Never regret this. Those words tasted bitter now, standing here among the wreckage of that promise. Let me tell you something about gradual changes. They're like a slow leak in your roof. You don't notice it at first, just a little water stain on the ceiling. Then one day you wake up and half your house has rotted away. That's what happened here, except instead of water damage, it was my place in this family slowly disappearing. The first few years had been good, I'll give them that. Family dinners, holiday celebrations, Victor asking my advice about work problems. I'd felt useful, needed, like I had a purpose again after Beverly died. But somewhere around 2020, things started shifting. Invitations to dinner became less frequent. Conversations grew shorter. My opinions were dismissed more quickly, like I was some old fool who didn't understand how the modern world worked. By 2023, I was eating most meals alone in my room while they had their family time downstairs. Diane would sigh when I used the kitchen, like my presence was something she barely tolerated. Victor stopped asking for advice and started looking through me instead of at me. They developed this language of glances and subtle signals that excluded me completely. You know what I told myself? It was temporary stress. Victor's job, Diane's moods, the usual ups and downs of family life. I made excuses for them the way parents do, finding reasons to justify behavior that grew increasingly cold and dismissive. But the pattern was clear now, viewed from this side of betrayal. The closer we got to paying off that mortgage, the worse they treated me, like my usefulness had an expiration date tied directly to the loan balance. Every payment I made toward their debt was one step closer to my eviction. Here's what really burns me up. They've been planning this. Maybe not from the beginning, but certainly for months. You don't change locks on impulse. You don't pack someone's entire life into boxes without forethought. This had been calculated, methodical, timed perfectly for my fishing trip. 8 years of mortgage payments. 8 years of buying groceries, paying utilities, covering repairs. 8 years of believing I was investing in family when I was actually funding my own disposal. They'd used me like a credit card and then cut me up when the balance was paid off. I pulled my jacket tighter against the evening chill and started thinking like an engineer again. Standing here feeling sorry for myself wouldn't change anything. Victor had made his choice, and it wasn't me. Diane had won whatever game she'd been playing all these years. They'd gotten what they wanted, a paid-off house and freedom from the inconvenience of gratitude, but they'd made one critical error in their calculations. They'd assumed I was powerless, that an old man with nowhere to go would simply disappear quietly into whatever programs existed for discarded parents. They treated me like I was already dead, just a burden waiting to be buried, time to show them how wrong they were. I turned away from the house and walked back toward my scattered belongings. The pile looked different now, not like trash, but like evidence. I approached it with a mechanic's eye, assessing what could be salvaged and what deserved to be abandoned. 40 years of factory work had taught me to think systematically, to solve problems through careful analysis rather than emotional reaction. This was just another problem requiring a practical solution, and I'd always been good at solving problems. The wedding photo went into the cab of my truck first, cracked glass and all. Some things were worth preserving regardless of damage. Beverly's jewelry box followed, along with the few pieces that had survived Diane's hasty packing. Not valuable to anyone else, but priceless to me. My work tools were scattered among the clothes and household items. The socket set I'd owned for 30 years, still in perfect condition. The level that had helped me build Victor's treehouse when he was 8. These tools had value beyond sentiment. They represented skills and capabilities that Victor and Diane had forgotten I possessed. If I was going to rebuild my life from scratch at 58, I'd need every advantage I could gather. Organization mattered. Preparation mattered. And most importantly, I needed to remember something Victor and Diane had apparently forgotten. I wasn't just some helpless old man they could discard. I was Harold Thompson, and I'd been solving problems a lot more complicated than ungrateful family members for 35 years. The truck bed was nearly full when I finished loading everything that mattered. I'd have to leave some furniture behind, the dresser Beverly had refinished, the recliner where I'd watch TV most evenings. But material possessions were just weight now. I needed mobility, flexibility, freedom to act without being weighed down by the past. Time to show them what 35 years of experience looked like when it stopped being grateful. I climbed into the driver's seat and turned the key. The engine caught immediately reliable machinery responding to experienced hands. In the rearview mirror, I could see the house growing smaller as I drove away, its windows dark and unwelcoming. But I wasn't disappearing into the night like they expected. I was just changing positions, moving to higher ground where I could see the whole battlefield clearly. The Budget Inn's neon sign flickered red against the darkness as I pulled into the parking lot. $50 for the night, clean, private, and exactly what someone needed while planning his next move. The desk clerk barely looked up from his magazine when I checked in. Room 127 was exactly what I'd expected. A double bed, small table by the window, and a bathroom barely large enough to turn around in. But it was mine for the night, and that's all that mattered. I carried my essential boxes inside and arranged Beverly's jewelry box on the bedside table, creating a small reminder of what real family looked like. By morning, I was ready to act. Here's what I knew from 35 years of engineering. Every problem has a solution if you approach it methodically. And the first step was understanding exactly what kind of problem I was dealing with. Saturday morning found me in Carl Brennan's law office downtown. His advertisement had caught my eye. Property law, emergency consultations available. Professional help for professional problems, Mr. Brennan. I need to clarify property ownership matters urgently. There's been a family dispute about a house I've been living in, and I need to understand my legal position. Can you bring the relevant documents? You bet I could. 35 years of keeping meticulous records, and it all paid off in that manila folder. Loan documents, property tax receipts, insurance policies, everything that mattered. Carl examined each page with the kind of attention to detail I recognized from my own work habits. When he reached the original deed and mortgage agreement, his eyebrows raised slightly. Mr. Thompson, according to these documents, you are the sole owner of the property in question. Let me tell you something about moments of perfect clarity. They don't come often, but when they do, everything suddenly makes sense. This was one of those moments. What about the mortgage? Victor and Diane live there. They said I was helping them buy their house. The mortgage was issued in your name only. You qualified for the loan, you've made all the payments, and the property tax records show you as the official owner. Your son and daughter-in-law have no legal claim to the house whatsoever. 8 years of being treated like a charity case in my own $400,000 house. The irony was so perfect it almost made me laugh. What are my options? You could demand they vacate immediately. You could begin formal eviction proceedings. You could sell the property and force them to relocate. As the legal owner, you have considerable leverage. Within an hour, I had documentation proving beyond question that Victor and Diane had been living rent-free in my house for 8 years. Not their house, my house. The house I owned free and clear, worth approximately $400,000 in today's market. That afternoon, I met Sharon Miller at Walsh Realty. Sharp-eyed woman who apparently worked weekends for clients serious about buying or selling. What kind of timeline are we looking at for your property sale? As quickly as possible. I need the house listed immediately and shown to serious buyers starting Monday. What about the current occupants? Do they need time to find new housing? That's no longer my concern. They're adults. They'll figure something out. The coldness in my own voice surprised me, but it felt right. 8 years of concern for Victor and Diane's comfort had gotten me thrown out like garbage. Time to prioritize my own interests for a change. By Tuesday, the house would be on the market. By the following week, serious buyers would be walking through, deciding whether they wanted to make an offer. And by then, I'd be somewhere Victor and Diane couldn't reach me to beg, threaten, or manipulate. Sunday morning found me at Springfield Airport with a carry-on bag and no particular destination in mind. The ticket counter agent was helpful when I explained my situation. I'd like to book a flight somewhere warm. Doesn't matter where, as long as I can leave today. There's a flight to Cancun leaving in 3 hours. Perfect. Book it. 3 hours later, I was stepping off an airplane into Mexican heat that felt like a blessing after everything I'd been through. The resort was exactly what someone fleeing family drama needed: anonymous, comfortable, and completely disconnected from any responsibilities back home. The first order of business was turning off my phone. Let Victor and Diane wonder where I'd gone and why I wasn't available to explain or negotiate. By the time they realized something was wrong, the house sale would be in motion, and my location would be irrelevant. For 2 weeks, I sat on that balcony watching waves roll in with rhythmic persistence. Other resort guests moved through their vacation routines while I learned something I'd forgotten: how to relax without asking anyone's permission. When I finally turned my phone back on, the screen exploded with notifications. 76 missed calls, dozens of voicemails. Text messages that grew increasingly desperate as the days passed. The first few were angry and demanding, but as the hours progressed, the tone shifted from anger to confusion to panic to something approaching genuine fear. Finally, some recognition of consequences. Sharon's messages were scattered among the family chaos, professional updates delivered with business-like efficiency. Excellent showing yesterday. Young couple very interested. They love the neighborhood and see themselves raising children there. Perfect. New owners who would actually appreciate the house instead of treating it like a burden they'd inherited. 3 weeks later, I returned to Springfield with a tan and a perspective that distance had clarified. The final scene played out exactly as I'd expected. Victor and Diane desperately searching for me, finally understanding that actions have consequences. The sale closed the next day. Eugene and Linda Lawson, newlyweds who reminded me why houses exist in the first place. They were grateful, enthusiastic, genuinely excited about home ownership, everything Victor and Diane weren't. The check for $395,000 felt surprisingly light in my hands. but it represented something more valuable than money: freedom from ungrateful relatives, freedom from living situations based on guilt rather than respect, freedom to choose how I spent my remaining years. 6 months later, I'm sitting on my new deck overlooking the lake. The Lawsons send me Christmas cards. Their kids love that old treehouse Victor and I built years ago. Victor calls sometimes since Diane left him after losing her law license, but it's different now. We talk, but there's something broken between us that can't be fixed with apologies. Some bridges, once you burn them, you can't rebuild the same way. But that's okay. Sometimes starting fresh is exactly what a man needs. They taught me that family was conditional, that gratitude had limits, that love could be discarded when it became inconvenient. I'd proven to be an excellent student. You see, respect isn't something you can take back once you've thrown it away. It's like breaking a mirror. Even if you glue the pieces together, you'll always see the cracks. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give ungrateful people is exactly what they asked for in your absence from their lives.